This is WWE ID prospect Jha'Quan Air McNair, and this is the Fans View Podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Fans View Podcast. You don't get the nickname of the guest today. You don't call yourself Air unless you can bring it. Today's guest, he is a high flyer, from collegiate wrestler on the mat to all over the place in North Carolina and beyond, and freshly minted WWE ID talent. My guest today is Mr. Jha'Quan Air McNair. Brother, how are you doing tonight?
Dude, I love that intro, man. That was great.
Hey, man, has anything cool happened in the past couple days for you?
Well, the ID, yeah, that's probably the greatest thing, right?
I love it. I love it. And we're going to get to that. I want to get to that for sure. But I got to ask you right off the bat. I know you're very active in the North Carolina indie scene.
Yes, sir.
Does anybody ever challenge you on that nickname? Like they're trying to see the hops? Or is it law now in North Carolina that you don't even...
I think everyone just knows at this point. Like everyone just knows. Like the biggest spot that I hit in a match, or my favorite spot, is I do a Saquon Barkley reverse leapfrog in the match, right? And I can hit it out of nowhere. I can hit it somewhere, like wherever. But if you're charging me, it's probably coming, and then a drop kick is coming from the heavens. So I'm doing something where I'm in the air. I mean, you can try to challenge me on it, but we can go vert for vert. Like it's not going to end well.
I think they're putting something in the water up there in North Carolina, because I do know of somebody else from North Carolina in that system that claims to be pretty bouncy himself. So, I mean, maybe we got something in the works down the line a little bit.
Maybe. He's a different breed, man. He's flying all over the ring, dude. I need to get on that level. I'm not gonna lie.
I love it, man. I love it. That athletic side of you, though, all jokes aside, is real. You come from a strong wrestling background, at Gardner Webb. Let's talk about that side of it. You're in the NCAA. You're doing the college wrestling. How does that amateur experience kind of cross over into the professional wrestling world? Obviously, we've seen people do it at a high level. Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin. Those are some names to be in the same class as.
Yeah, man. It's quite interesting because amateur wrestling and professional wrestling intermingle so well together, because that is the basis of actual chain wrestling, right? Is amateur wrestling, right? One thing that I am very confident in, if things were to never go well with a crowd or anything, no one can ever tell me that I can't wrestle, because I legitimately can wrestle. So it's not a thing I'm worried about, right? Because wrestling just comes so natural to me because of the amateur style, right? Like I know how to get takedowns, I know how to reverse things, I know how to get into things, I know how to get out of things, right? Like it's second nature to me. So that's kind of how that works. If someone puts you in a hold, right, I know how to get out of it, right? You don't even got to tell me how to get out of it. I can get out of it 100%. And then maybe once I get out of it, I put you in a hold, right? Now,
yes, sir.
I could probably tell you how to get out of this hold your damn self, right? So,
I love that.
It's natural. It's just chaining and flowing together. Like that just comes with the comfortability of amateur wrestling.
Right. And on the other side of that, a lot of people that have tried to make the jump from amateur to professional wrestling, they kind of talk about the fact they have to unlearn some things. Did you find it difficult in the beginning to kind of go from, all right, like I just need to get this pin, I need to get these points, to I need to perform, like I need to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, it might be something that I'm still struggling with, but and I'm not sure, but definitely I would say, because wrestling was so much of a sport where you had to be stoic, right?
Right.
Like you couldn't really, it's not much emotion that's being shown, right? Like if you're tired, you can't let your opponent see that you're tired. If you're hurt, you can't let anyone see that you're hurt, right? Like there's no reaction, right? That is the best reaction, is no reaction in amateur wrestling, right? Professional wrestling is the polar opposite. Oh my God. I mean, like, just you have to wear your emotions on a sleeve in professional wrestling because you're you're putting on a show for the crowd, and you want the crowd to be able to see this emotion, right? Meanwhile, in amateur wrestling, like, I'm not worried about the crowd, dude. It's me and this man, mano y mano, getting after it, right? So yeah, that's a very, very different aspect from amateur to professional wrestling that is really hard. Or is I can see it being really hard for like hardcore amateur wrestlers to adapt to, and it was also hard for myself to adapt to.
Right. When did you first realize? Because like I've talked about with previous guests, some amateur wrestlers, they look down upon professional wrestling. They want to go the Olympic route. You
Mm-hmm.
know, when did you first realize, like, I think professional wrestling is something I want to at least dip my toe into?
Bro, when I was like 3 years old. Like this is I think I don't know who I spoke to the other day, but I was telling someone, I'm like, dude, professional wrestling is my very first memory. Like I have an older brother and I was a younger sibling. So when I was a younger sibling, like most younger siblings, I went to hang out with my older brother all the time, right? He necessarily did not want me to hang out with him and his friends. But him and his friends, right? Like they loved professional wrestling. They had all the action figures, all the games, all the movies, right? And mom would be like, let your little brother go hang out with you. I would go hang out with him, and they put me in the walls of Jericho and all this stuff. And it was just something that I enjoyed watching, being a part of, and being with my brother's friends and acting like we're on Monday Night Raw and we're Stone Cold or we're The Rock and we're about to get after it or we're Chris Jericho, right? Like that was some of the most fun I've ever had, and it kind of just rubbed off onto me into my childhood, like as it became my own thing. Like now I'm watching weekly episodes of Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. Didn't miss a single episode, right? Now I'm begging my parents to watch these pay-per-views, man. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, so I've been to a couple of live events. When WrestleMania hit Atlanta 27 in 2011, you best believe I was begging my parents for tickets, and we got them, and we were there, right? Like I've
Love it.
always loved I will say around that time that everyone kind of falls out of things was high school, right? High school comes and I'm out of professional wrestling. This is probably around like 2015, 2016. I would keep up with it like on social media, Instagram's popping, but I wouldn't be watching weekly episodes anymore. And this is also around the time where my amateur wrestling career is starting to take off. I'm focused on different things now. Now the goal is, hey, man, I got to find a way to get my school paid for, right?
Sure.
And amateur wrestling was that way. I didn't find my love back for the sport of professional wrestling until, I ultimately finished amateur wrestling. And once I finished amateur wrestling, I was like, damn, man, I need something else to do. I really do need something else to do. And it needs to be different. And I don't want to do MMA. I don't want to get punched in the face. I just got my second degree. I promise you, if I had a high school degree, sure, maybe I'd fight. But like, I just got my master's degree. I'm so good. I'm so good, right? And then I was like, I don't want to do Olympic wrestling, right? I was like, I'm sick of actually wrestling, dude. Like, I'm sick of it, right? I
Yeah.
need something different. Like, it's all I've been doing for 11 years straight, from seventh grade all the way to my 5th year of college. Like, all I've been doing after school is going to amateur wrestling practice, right? I was like, I need something different, and
For sure.
it just so happens that the job that my degree led me to, man, it was a professional wrestling school right across the street,
Wow, I love that.
bro.
I,
Like,
that's
talk
some
about,
divine intervention right there.
bro. Talk about signs, bro. Talk about God, bro. Like it was insane. And to make that story even crazier, bro, that job, that was a completely new location that had just opened up. That's how I got the job, because it was a new location and they
Wow.
needed workers. So I got the
Right.
job, and it was right across the street from Lodi School, Team Fearless Training Academy, and that's where I ended up going to. Man, I ended up emailing Lodi, and we got in, and and I got in there. I just never left, man. I just kept going every day, and it makes it easy because I mean, practice was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. As soon as I got off work, boom, right across the street.
Right across the street. I love that. That was a perfect segue too, talking about God and talking about signs, because no one does signs like Lodi does signs.
Yeah,
And I know Lodi's a very devout Christian. He's very forward with his, with his walk with Christ these days.
mm-hmm.
What was it about Lodi's school? Was it just a circumstance of, hey, it's right there, that brought you into, that drew you towards that school? Because obviously North Carolina, man, you can throw a rock and hit 10 schools run by or former professional wrestlers.
Yeah.
What was it about Team Fearless?
It's so many signs that led to Team Fearless, brother. And this is why I talk about God, bro, and why he's so great. Is because there were so many paths that I had crossed before I even got that job that intermingled with Team Fearless before I even, moved out to Charlotte. When I was at Gardner-Webb, we had a guy on the team named Chase Emery. Shout out to Chase Emery. He's also a professional wrestler as well in North Carolina. Love Chase. He was also on Gardner-Webb's wrestling team. We did not cross paths. He finished wrestling before I had even got there, but he still went to the school. So we knew of each other. We would talk to each other all the time. We actually were coworkers because we were RAs in the same building at some point.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was and when you meet a professional wrestling fan, like, you pretty much just talk with that person. You can talk with that person all day. Yeah. So me and Chase, like, once I found out he was doing professional wrestling, I would talk to him all the time. Like, yo, bro, how do you do that, bro? Like, is there a school for that? Like, what do you do? And then he's like, yeah, man, I go to this school out in Charlotte. And then I'm like, oh, really? And then he's like, yeah. He starts showing me this website. He's like, yeah, man, sometimes Charles Robinson is there. He said sometimes Arn Anderson is there. I'm like, what? And then I'm looking at this picture and I'm seeing all these people on the website. And I'm like, dude, that's crazy. And then he's like, yeah, man, so this is like the website to the school. I'm keeping it in the back of my head, but like, I wasn't thinking nothing of it because at this point, I'm like a sophomore in college. I still got like 3 years left of amateur wrestling, or at least 4. Right. So I'm just like, all right, cool. Like, it's cool to know that there's a professional wrestling school somewhere, whatever. Right. And then finally, obviously me and Chase would talk about professional wrestling all the time and that school all the time, but that was just like the introduction into it. But finally, once I got that job in Charlotte, right, that's when like the gear started to kind of like turn in my head. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I live in Charlotte now. Chase said that professional wrestling school was in Charlotte 3 years ago when we talked about it. And I was like, let me go to the website. Mind you, I work in Matthews, North Carolina. I look on the website. It says Matthews, North Carolina. I said, what? Matthews, North Carolina? Let me put it in the maps real quick. Let me just see how far away it is. Just humor myself. I put it in the maps, 0.5 miles away. I was like, yo, like, this is a sign. I have to do this. I have to. Like, there's no way that this school got mentioned to me 3 years ago by another professional wrestler, Chase Emery. And I just so happened to land a job that's in a new location that's across the street from this brother.
Wild, man.
Like, if I'm not meant to do this, I don't know what I'm meant to do. You know?
Absolutely.
What I mean?
Absolutely. That is amazing, man. Like you said, so many signs. If you're not meant to do this, I don't know who is. I really don't. Can you speak a little bit? Can you speak a little bit, once you started going to Team Fearless, can you talk a little bit about the impact that Lodi's had on you personally and the training that you got there?
Yeah, man. Dude, oh my God. I love Lodi, bro. As soon as I stepped in the door at Team Fearless Training Academy, Lodi was already like singing my praises, bro. Like, he advocated for me in front of everybody and different people and different promoters that are in the state of North Carolina. He put my name in rooms that probably shouldn't have been in the rooms that they were in, being like 2 months into the business. You know what I mean? Like, he had a tremendous impact on that. And not only that, but just like having the confidence in me that I didn't even have in myself. Because stepping into a professional wrestling school, it can be very, very overwhelming. especially at, like we just talked about, right? Being an amateur wrestler, I'm not used to showing my emotions. We got to get in here and we got to scrap and we got to make noises and all this stuff. And I'm like, it just wasn't really. It took a second for me to um connect with that, I guess, right?
Absolutely.
At least mentally. Physically, I was doing it because that's what I wanted to do. But yeah, man, Lodi's had a tremendous impact on me as a professional wrestler. Lodi's the only reason why I have this ID, and I will say that loud and clear. Lodi is the prime reason why I have this ID.
Man, I love that. Lodi's been on the podcast. Lodi actually jumped on me, man, when I was super, super, super young into this. Like, I mean, a couple weeks, and Brad was nice enough to give me his time. So
Yeah,
anytime I could stop and get someone to give Lodi his flowers, man, I want to do it for sure.
all the time.
And the thing is, he's just as good of a human being as he is a coach and professional wrestler.
100%.
Still doing it to this day.
100%. I actually, funny story, recently, I got the tag with Lodi this was probably three weeks ago.
Nice.
I got to do a 6-man tag. It was me, Lodi, and Chris Prince. Also, shout out to Chris Prince as well. He runs the classes on Tuesdays at Team Fearless. I also had a big hand in my professional wrestling career. But yeah, it was cool because Chris Prince had a tag team partner who they're no longer tagging anymore, but that was supposed to be the match. It was supposed to be Chris Prince, his tag team partner, and Lodi, his tag partner, pulls out. They needed someone. Promoter reaches out to me. He's like, "Hey man, would you like to tag with Chris and Lodi?" Would I, bro? What? Yeah, man, get me in there right now. So, and that was cool. We got to wrestle the Heat Seekers, and that was a great time.
I love that. I love that for you. I love that so much, man.
Mm-hmm.
For those that might be living under a rock, because that's where they would have to be to not have seen you before, how would you describe your style if someone, God forbid, hadn't seen you wrestle? And what should fans expect when they see Air McNair on that card?
I would say I am a mix of explosiveness and vertical athletic ability, right? Like it's coming from anywhere, right? That Air moniker is not only just because I can jump so high in the air, but it's because I can also pick my opponents up in the air and slam them back to the ground too, right? Like there is a component of the air that's where that explosiveness comes from, right? And it comes from my background of being an amateur wrestler, right? My style is being an amateur wrestler, but also adding in that explosive mix as well, right?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
Definitely, whenever you see me, you can expect to see some sort of gear change, some sort of intensity that is hard to replicate.
For sure, for sure. And when we talk about your amateur background and you having that grounded style, but on the independents, you're kind of known for that high flying, from the top style.
Mm-hmm.
Those high risk moves are your calling card. What's the mental prep for someone like you that does have that high flyer, in you? What's that mental prep before you go out there knowing like things go wrong up there all the time?
Yeah, I just got to get warm. Like I warm up like I'm about to go be in the Olympic track meet or something, bro. Because I'm telling you, I got to make sure my muscles are warm. I'm prime. I'm ready to go. Because one wrong landing, one bad jump, anything can go to shambles, right? Ankle roll, ankle sprain, anything, bro. So I try to make sure before I go out that I am well prepared, very warm, and ready to go. And I honestly, I don't really do too much like crazy like high flying moves. Like I'm still learning. I haven't even I might have done one springboard at one point. I don't know, but I don't do springboards confidently. I probably came off the top rope like a couple times, but mainly it's just I can jump really high, man, and
Yeah.
I need to add some of that more high flying stuff in there though with that moniker Air McNair. But yeah,
You know what it is, man. You're so explosive from the ground. You don't have to springboard, and you don't have to go up top.
and you know what?
The springboard is your legs.
And that's why I'm kind of fine with not having to do that stuff, right? And I would love to learn how to do that stuff, but it's not something that I want to bank on because if I have to bank on it, right, I think that's something that people are going to be expecting from me every single time, and that's not a style that I want to maintain. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely. Yeah, especially where you're going. You're going to be wrestling a whole lot more. So you want to make sure what you do is repeatable. Very repeatable.
That's what I'm saying. So trying to be very smart about it and still have fun at the same time, you know?
Right, absolutely.
Hey, you. Yeah, watching this right now. I see you. If you're enjoying what you're watching, I've got one quick favor to ask, and it only takes a second, costs you nothing, and makes a huge difference. If you could go ahead and hit that like button, maybe drop a comment. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed. Doesn't seem like much, but for small creators, it's everything. So let's help more people find this channel and keep the content coming. And honestly, I'm pretty sure the podcast will be really grateful. So if you're having fun, you like what you see, make it official, click those buttons. And the Fans View podcast, we'll see you next time.
Well, man, I can see why you've got some serious eyes on you, and let's just get to it. It's why everybody's watching this interview right now. Let's talk about the WWE ID program. Recently, it was announced that you and a couple other gentlemen have been signed as the newest WWE ID prospects. First things first, I saw you post about it on social media.
Yeah.
How long did you have to kayfabe the boys? How long have you known about this, and how did it all come about?
Bro, like a month and a half. So like and it's funny because I did like 3 promos for shows, and in the promos I would have like a introduction into the promos, like a little anecdote of me like walking around pacing, looking at my phone like, yo, WWE's got to call me at some point, like they've got to. 2 of those promos were real. I swear they were. 2 of those were real. 2 of those are like, yo, they're taking forever. The last one I did though, it was kind of like I already know, but like might as well kind of just keep playing on it, you know. But it was funny because originally, the last day of the tryout, Shawn Michaels spoke once at the tryout. He spoke one time, and other than that, he was kind of just walking around with the clipboard, you know, taking notes, you know, figuring out whoever he wanted to watch or whatever. But he spoke one time, and that was at the end of the tryout, and that was because he didn't want to make us any more nervous than what we were, because there was you know, there's so many coaches there already, and you know, to hear from Shawn Michaels, you know, you would get very nervous. But at the end, he told us pretty much how everything was gonna go. He was like, "Hey man, within a week from now, you guys will get a call from someone on our team with one of 3 choices, right? First choice being, hey, we would like you to move out to Orlando, Florida, sign a developmental contract with NXT. Second choice being, hey, we want you to come to Orlando, Florida for an extended tryout. We want to get a longer look at you, right? And then third choice being, no for now, right? So ID wasn't even presented as an option.
Okay.
That wasn't even presented. I had no idea that was even going to be a thing. And then, mind you, everyone heard he said they're going to reach out a week later. So everyone's like sitting on the edge of their bed, like waiting for that phone call. And we just didn't get anything for like a month and a half or 2. And it was just very stressful time. It was very stressful time. And we were just kind of like, yo, like, what's going on here? But yeah, September 9th, I finally got the call from Mr. Gabe Sapolsky. Gabe called me and he informed me, you know, he told me, he was like, hey man, you did a really good job at the tryout. You know, all the coaches said you did great. They don't want to offer you a developmental contract right now. I was like, but they do want to offer you an ID contract. Mind blowing immediately, because I'm like, that wasn't even an option. I'm like, what? For real? I'm like, yo, like, all right, yeah, like and he's like, yeah, man, would you love to be a part of the ID program? I'm like, bruh, what? I would love to. So, yeah, that's kind of how that came about. And yeah, we had to keep it under wraps. I was like, first thing I asked him, I'm like, yo, can I like make an announcement? He's like, no, don't make an announcement. And I'm like, okay, all right, cool. He's like, yeah, we're gonna do like a TV taping and everything, and all this jazz. And once we do the TV taping and once it airs, you're good. And I'm like, all right, cool. So, yeah, we did that TV taping and still had to keep my mouth shut for quite a while, and finally aired last Wednesday. I was excited. And yeah, it just felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders, and I could finally tell everyone and tell the boys, and it was great.
Man, I bet that phone was blowing up.
Bro,
I
my
can,
phone was on fire for like 2 days straight, man.
I can only imagine.
Goodness.
Obviously you've only been in it. I mean, technically you've been in it for a couple months, but to the fans' eye, you've only been in it for a couple days. But what's
Mm-hmm.
it like being in that system, even at the prospect level? Like you said, you're not a member of NXT yet, but what's it like just being in that WWE ecosystem? Has that kind of changed you at all as far as, where your mind's at?
It can be very overwhelming at first because it's like once you get there, like everyone is pretty much good, right? I kind of parallel it with collegiate wrestling, right, from high school, right? Once you get to collegiate wrestling, there is no average Joe Blow. Like
Right.
everyone is good, right? And that's how the performance center is, right? You get there, everyone is good, everyone's top level, everyone's got something going on. So when you see a lot of things happening, and then on top of that, like just the system that WWE is, like it is a machine. Like they've got producers, they've got writers, they've got this, they've got that. And if you've never been exposed to something like that before, which most of us haven't, and you get in that environment and you're like, oh my gosh, they got this, they've got that. Like it's insane to actually see it happen in real time, and it can be a lot because, you try to figure out where you fit in at that in that machine or in that mold or where your part is in that mold. And it might take me a really long time to figure that out. I don't know it, right? Like I've only been there once, so um, but other than it being overwhelming, it also is one of the best experiences you could ever have because man, it's so much things that you can learn and just from being in that environment, and so much things that you could take away from it. Like anytime the first time I was there and anytime going forward, right? Anytime I'm there, I love to be or I want to be under the learning tree, right? Like I just want to sit there, right? And just figure out what's going on. I ask a bunch of questions, right? Figure out how things are done there, right? What way do you guys want this done, right? And figuring out how can I take this stuff back home and apply it to not only myself, but if it's anything in ring stuff, apply it to the wrestling school and to the boys back home because it's not a secret, right? We're not, or they're not. I'm not trying to gatekeep anything, or we're not trying to gatekeep anything from any independent wrestlers. Like it's all out there, right? You just got to go get it. You got and being able to share that knowledge with some of the guys back at the school is something that I look forward to doing as well. So
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine, a fella in wrestling on the North Carolina indie scene, and not that Team Fearless isn't a fantastic school, but just the amount of resources now that you're exposed to, just system overload has got to be the only way to put it. I can only imagine.
yeah, man. So I mean, with the resources that I am able to have now, like my goal is to be able to travel to as many reputable schools as possible, right? Like last Sunday, I was at Firestar, right? I've been to Firestar once before, and that was like my third month into the business. But I mean, it's a drive, and that was pretty much the part that held me back from going anymore was it was a drive and the resources as well. And so anyway, I have the resources now. The drive is worth it. I drove there last Sunday, enjoyed the time with LeBron Cozone. I'm from Atlanta. Anytime I go home for the holidays, I spend time with the fam. You already know I'm going to get a chance to go to the Nightmare Factory.
I was just about to say.
That's already on the list, man. And with Mike Cunningham being ID, like I can just reach out to him and kind of figure out any times whenever their schools are running and try to get in over there because I would love to train at the Nightmare Factory, brother. And
Absolutely.
another big goal for me is I want to train at Reality of Wrestling, right? Like that's something that I want to do within this year. And I also want to train at the Dungeon. I'm pretty sure that's in Orlando. That's a big
goal. Yeah, with Natty and TJ. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's just everything on this kind of coast, right?
Yeah.
I do want to travel overseas. I don't know how long that's going to take or what the process of that is like. obviously it's baby steps, right? Got to take one step at a time. But I just want to get my name out there. I just want to get in different rooms. I want to get in with different professional wrestlers, learn under different coaches, see what the different philosophies there are in this business. Because I and like I was telling you earlier, I parallel this with amateur wrestling so much. I understand that this is a never-ending and growing art, right? Like you never
Absolutely.
know everything, right? So this is something that you can take and learn from anybody, or not anybody, but you can learn from everybody, right? Different things that they do, right? Take that piece and implement it into what you're doing, because there's not one set way on how to do everything, right?
One hundred
Thousand different
percent.
ways to skin a cat. So, yeah,
I
man.
love that.
So,
You know, this being the Fans View podcast, like it's always my goal to ask like those things. Like I'm just a fan, and I got buddies that are just fans, and I always want to take the opportunity to ask those nerdy questions when I have them. So I have to hit you with this. Obviously, you're signed as a WWE prospect. You're signed, but you're not signed. I guess would be the way we've always understood it from a
yeah,
fan perspective.
yeah.
What does the WWE, and obviously I know you can't go into super details about it, but what does the WWE ID system unlock for you, or does it limit you in anything? You understand what I'm trying to say? I don't want to ask too picky of a
Yeah,
question,
yeah.
because obviously,
No, I
I
get what
guess
you're
what are the
saying.
perks of the WWE ID program? That's
I
probably
get
the
what you
best way to put it.
I get what you're saying, and 100%, I will say it's the resources, right? Because now I can travel out to these different schools, like we were talking about earlier, right? Like I have the resources to go to Orlando. I have the resources to go to Texas, right? I have the resources to go to Atlanta and train there, right? Or anywhere really. And
Yeah,
not only that, but like shows and pretty much any promoter, right? Now that I'm WWE ID, I would hope that bookings pick up. Do I know
for
that for sure?
sure.
I don't know, right? I don't know for
Yeah,
sure if they will. I'm just very hopeful that they will, and I really hope that they do. Um, so that's fun. And on top of that, like our mentor for the program is Sean Waltman, right? So
that's a heck of a mentor.
you know what I mean? Like it doesn't get any better than that. Like someone that you can talk to pretty much any time of the day and send him footage of your wrestling matches, have him critique it, take notes, sit underneath the learning tree and figure out how can you learn from him, right? It's like, and that's a resource that should be used, right? So
For
um,
sure.
stuff like that is definitely.
You know, as you were saying that, I guess to put a finer point on my question, when your ID is the performance center now just like an open door for you whenever you're in Orlando?
I don't know. That is a great question. That is a great question. I do know that if and when I do get called for a TV taping, I can go to Orlando a little bit earlier than scheduled, and I can get there earlier in the week to train at the PC for sure. If I just happen to be in Orlando, and I want to go to the PC, I have no idea how that works. No idea how that works. But hey, we gonna figure it out though.
I love it. I love the honesty, man. You don't know what you don't know. So I mean,
Yeah,
I respect it. Man, Jha'Quan, this has been so much fun, dude. I could go on for another hour with you.
I
But
actually could too. Like I'm not even tired anymore. I'm up.
bro, I'm telling you, I was tired before we started too. I'm like, damn, I could listen to this dude tell stories for the next 2 hours. But I am gonna start to wind this thing down, but I can't let you get out of here without asking you my favorite two questions that I ask of every guest.
Yes, sir.
Number one being, like I just said, this is the Fans View podcast, man. When you're not bouncing around, what are you a fan of?
Well, I will tell you, I'm not like a super big fan of like Marvel or like DC, but I do have my select few superheroes that I am a fan of. And actually, I am wearing a hoodie right now. Right?
I like it, a Spider-Man guy.
Oh,
I can
man, yeah,
appreciate it.
for sure. But I say that to say this has nothing to do with Marvel and DC because I love The Boys. The Boys is one of my favorite shows. I just finished up watching Gen V season 2. I am a major fan of that series. I would say that for sure.
I love it, brother. I love it. Last but not least, and this is my favorite question, and feel free to go as deep or as shallow as you want to with this. But that question is this. Obviously, you're a very young man. You're still young in this business, relatively speaking.
Mm-hmm.
How do you define success of this at this stage of not only your career, but of life?
I would say where I'm at right now, like following in these footsteps and believing in my faith, I would say for sure. Because being ID'd this far into the business, like it's only been a year and a half for me. And the fact that I'm ID'd, like that, if that doesn't show some sort of success, then I don't know what does, right? And I have a hard time with like, taking little wins here and there, but like that's a pretty big damn W for me.
That's a big W there, brother.
That's a pretty big damn W for me, man. As far as life, man, my goals, right? Like if I'm accomplishing my goals, and I've even talked about this with my kids because I coach amateur wrestling, but there's a long term goal, right? And then there's short term goals, right? Long term goals take really long to accomplish, right? Short term goals are those goals in between that long term goal that you accomplish to get to that overarching goal, right? So as long as I'm knocking off those short term goals in between, like I'm happy with what I'm doing with life, and I feel like I'm on the right path to being successful, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, absolutely. I appreciate that answer too. And I can't let you get out of here without letting everybody in North Carolina and beyond know that our man Air McNair is going to make his debut at WrestleCade in just a couple of weeks, man. Can you talk about, that appearance coming up with Kayfabe Cardboard and the Wrestling Road Stories crew?
Yeah, dude, I'm excited. So, first of all, shout out to Danny Jha'Quan, with Kayfabe, and Wrestling Road Stories. I mean, I love Danny, bro. Danny is clutch.
Dan's the man.
Danny does so much, bro, for the independent wrestlers in North Carolina, as far as like helping us like make money off of this. Like that is such a respectable feat. And I really appreciate Danny for that. Like just alone because of Danny, in the past 2 months, I have T-shirts. I'm about to get new 8x10s, and I have stickers, and I'm about to have cards because of Danny. Right? If Danny wasn't here, I wouldn't have had none of that.
And I'm so glad. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm so glad you said that, because I was actually given permission by Danny about an hour ago to let you know that at WrestleCade you're going to get a brand new WrestleCade exclusive T-shirt and card coming up.
No,
he said that you didn't know about that yet, but I could go ahead and break the news for you.
Yes.
So that's another thing to make sure you guys are coming out to WrestleCade to support our boy. But I'm so sorry. Please continue.
Nah, no, all good. Dude, dang, bro, you just dropped the bomb on me.
We get to break a little news here on the Fans View every once in a while.
That's crazy. But no, I've heard a lot about WrestleCade ever since last year, because I started last May. So I went through a WrestleCade cycle. Obviously, I was like 4 months into that point, but everyone would talk about it. They're like, WrestleCade is like the biggest wrestling convention. You gotta come. You gotta do this. And I'm like, bro, I just graduated school, man. Like, it's Thanksgiving. I want to go home. Like, I'm going home. So I went home last year for Thanksgiving, needless to say. But yeah, I've heard a lot about it. I've heard how many people you get to meet, how much you get to learn, how much you get to just shoot the shit with legends that you've watched on TV, which is like a crazy learning experience. You probably could learn so much at WrestleCade, and it's insane. I already know. So I'm looking forward to being there and just kind of like meeting new people. Not only that, but I'm gonna be next to Lodi and the Flock. So I mean,
the entire flock.
The entire flock.
Gotta give Danny his flowers on that one too.
Yeah. No, bro. Danny's clutch, bro. Danny's the man, bro. But
for sure. For sure, man. Like I said, I've told you earlier today when we connected, I've been going for about 10 years now. Tracy Myers and Brian Hawks have built something so beautiful in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, that I mean, if you're an independent wrestler, you're looking to do a little networking, you can do it at WrestleCade. If you're a fan, you're looking to meet legends and up-and-comers and everything in between, you do it at WrestleCade. I mean, anybody that's anybody in professional wrestling is at WrestleCade. So
exactly, that's why I'm looking forward to going, man, because everyone's gonna be here.
It's gonna be fantastic, man. Guys, make sure you go hit WrestleCade.com. It's November 28th, 29th, and the 30th. It's the weekend after Thanksgiving. And like I said, go give our boys some love. Go get that event exclusive t-shirt, that new card that's coming out, that kayfabe cardboard is gonna hook them up with. I mean, after you meet, Air McNair, you go meet, God, I can't even think of all the names. There's over 150 names that weekend. So it's going to be insanity. But where can people get a hold of you on social media, man? Or where can promoters get a hold of you? All that fun stuff. Plug your stuff.
Instagram, Jha'Quan McNair. Twitter, Elite J with 2 A's. I'm pretty sure. Yes. Reach out to me on there. And on Facebook as well. Facebook, I just found out when I got into the professional wrestling world that Facebook is a really, really big website for independent wrestling. So,
yes, for sure.
Facebook at Jha'Quan McNair as well. You guys can reach out to me on there. If you need to email me, it's shoot name jquananderson@yahoo.com. And yeah, that's all I got. I got something in the works with the YouTube channel.
Love it.
Up. Might be kind of trying to show off the journey of being an ID superstar. So
there we go.
Still trying to figure that stuff out. It's all still in the works, but if it can come true and I can bring what's in my head out the light, then man, you guys tune in, subscribe at Jha'Quan McNair on that as well.
I love that. Everybody listening, make sure you go give him a follow, shoot him a subscribe, check out his matches. And just keep your eyes open, guys, because the next time you see our boy, he might be under some pretty bright lights. So you got to get it on the ground floor right here. Jha'Quan, thank you so much, brother, for taking the time out of your busy schedule, to come on here and shoot the shit with me for almost a couple hours at this point. So,
man, thank you.
I appreciate you, brother, and hopefully this will be the first of a couple appearances. Maybe we'll talk to you at WrestleCade.
Absolutely.
Guys, like I said, make sure to go give our boy some love. Go follow him on socials. Go buy some merch. And don't forget, guys, most importantly, call your mom.
If you haven't liked or subscribed, you're going to be joking me.